minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, the Prudential Regulators, for taking time to testify before us today. Mr. Sue, the last time Director Chopra appeared before the Senate in April, he testified that both the general counsels and legal advisors at CFPB and OCC drafted a memorandum to analyze the FDIC board's bylaws. However, the next day in front of this committee, I pressed Director Chopra on this issue, and his response was, ask the OCC. Well, we did just that. We sent you a formal letter inquiring about the OCC's involvement in creating this memo. In April of this year, you responded that, and I quote, the OCC's legal staff did not assist the CFPB with any drafting or review of an opinion or memo that analyzed the FDIC board's bylaws, end quote. For the sake of clarity, did the OCC assist with the CFPB's internal analysis?
No.
Thank you for that. That means Director Chopra is pulling our leg. Somebody's lying to us here. Lied to the committee, Senate Bank, and lied to me. That is a very serious offense, lying to a member of Congress in front of a committee. We will take that up with him at a later date. Okay, Director Sue, if not the analysis of the CFPB, then what legal analysis did you rely on to determine whether you should participate in the vote? Did the OCC conduct their own analysis?
We did not do any legal analysis. My focus has been and always has been on the policy. So the policy issue that was being discussed at the time was related to bank mergers. And that my focus was on ensuring that the policy and that request for information document, which kind of
okay, so you did your own analysis then?
Well, we didn't do any legal analysis. I mean,
you didn't do any analysis at all. So you voted to upend 100 years of precedent that the FDIC agenda, the FDIC chair sets the agenda, and didn't even analyze your legal standing to do so?
I was focused on the policy. That's why I voted for the RFI.
There's a process in place, Mr. Sue, and you didn't follow the process. That's a problem.
I believe I followed the process. We were unable to reach a compromise.
Well, either you didn't follow the process or you did. If you did follow the process, I would like to have you send me analysis of how you came to that analysis of what you were going to do. Is that okay? Can you send me analysis on it?
Let me take that back.
All right. Speaking of participants in that coup, Mr. Grunberg, let's discuss your long history at the FDIC. During your chairmanship, specifically in 2013, the FDIC and DOJ led a government initiative called Operation Choke Point to cut off financial services to legally operating businesses. Specifically, the FDIC created a list of high-risk merchants and activities, I quote. And one of your regional directors even emailed that, and I quote, activities related to payday lending are unacceptable for an insured depository institution, end quote. A comment which led to numerous legally operating businesses getting cut off from banking services. I'd like to point out that the regional manager who made that statement is now Mr. Anthony Lowe, and who currently serves as the FDIC ombudsman and is responsible for fielding complaints from banks and businesses that have been negatively impacted by the FDIC. That is a head scratcher. Mr. Grunberg, you were chairman when the choke point happened, and your ombudsman is a key perpetrator of the mentality that created choke point. My question is simple. You plan to bring back Operation Choke Point and limit the financial access for legally operating industries?
Congressman, to the extent Operation Choke Point is represented as pressuring banks not to serve customers who are complying with state and federal law, and as long as the bank has the appropriate management capability, it's the policy of the FDIC that a bank should be able to serve any such customer, and that's been our policy since 2014.
Okay, so I assume your answer is no then, which I'm glad you feel that way. I have a joint statement in front of me from every regulator here this morning with regards to the independent ATM industry. Madam Chair, I'd like to put this in record.
Without objection, such is the order.
Thank you. Within this letter it states, and I quote, as a general matter, the agencies do not direct banks to open, close, or maintain specific accounts. The agencies continue to encourage banks to manage customer relationships and mitigate risks based on customer relationships rather than decline to provide banking services based on entire categories of customers, end quote. Let me go down the line. Mr. Barr, do you agree with that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Luetkemeyer. It was very difficult to hear the sentence that you read. I was trying very carefully, but I couldn't hear it. It
says, as a general matter, and I'm running out of time here, the agencies do not direct banks to open, close, or maintain specific accounts. Agencies continue to encourage banks to manage customer relationships and mitigate risks based on customer relationships rather than decline to provide banking service to entire categories of commerce. It's in the letter you sent me. I assume you continue to agree with that.
Sorry, this is a letter that Mr. Grunberg sent?
No, it's a letter that you also sent from the Federal Reserve, FDIC, FinCEN, National Credit Union, as well as Comptroller of Currency. You
Yes.
sent it, your predecessor probably sent this, but, okay, each one of you still agree with this letter?
Yes.
Congressman.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue to watch you very carefully to make sure energy companies are not being penalized as a result of those activities. This is really important stuff. You guys agreed this morning to stop the nonsense. We're going to follow it.
Gentleman's time has expired.